Hello and welcome to the Florida Men Gaming. My name is Furion and today we're playing Magic the Gathering Arena. But before we get started, I'd like to ask that you please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below, let us know what you're thinking, what you'd like to see. And if you're over there on Rumble, go ahead and smash that Rumble button. For today's video, we're going to be playing a legendary Bard class deck on the main account. This deck is running very similar to the other account's version, but what we're running here is a little more prioritized towards some bomby creatures. So we've got 3 copies of Magna the Brazen Outlaw, 4 copies of the Bard class, our little mana cheat that helps us get these down to the board quicker, 3 copies of Targnar, the Demon Fang Knoll. This is a great card. It's a red and a green, and when you get the Bard class pumped to level 2, it's free. 3 copies of Birgi, the God of Storytelling. A lot of these cards have just generic mana costs once you get the Bard class pumped, and every time you play a spell, you add a red mana, so she can generate enough mana to keep the Bard class pumping and keep your creatures coming. 4 copies of Kodama of the West Tree. I'm a huge fan of this card. Something that makes certain aggro styles very difficult is the inability to get your damage to face when they have a lot of chump blockers. This solves that problem. With Bard class and the fact that everything we have is legendary, they will all get a counter. When Kodama comes down, anything that's modified, which includes having a counter, gets trample. And the other nice thing is this will help thin out the deck of lands, because anytime one of your trampling creatures hits the opponent in the face, you take a land out of your deck and you put it on the battlefield tapped. So Kodama is a critical piece of the puzzle here. We have 2 copies of Asika, the God of the Tree. This card is great because all of your legendary creatures get Vigilance and they can tap for mana of any color. 3 copies of Tovolar, the Dire Overlord. Why? Because he draws cards and I really like him. He's a good friend in terms of a lot of the decks that I've put him in. I've found a lot of success there. 4 copies of the Mirror Box. Why? Because if you can play Legends, play all of them and not have to worry about that Legend rule. This card I want to have out on the battlefield early and often, so I put 4 in so we might see it more than once. 3 copies of Toski, Bearer of Secrets. This card again, I like having the card draw engine. The Indestructible is nice, and if you get the Indestructible with the Asika and, maybe even a Mirror Box, this card will be able to attack, block, and keep itself safe all the way along. And of course, 4 copies of Helana and Elena Partners. This is just one of the scariest cards in the format right now. You get this thing down, it starts pumping for its power. If it has the modifications from the Bard class, from the Mirror Box, it pumps up scarily. If you have multiple of them down, your 3 power pumping up another 3 power can make each of them just gigantic and terrifying, plus they have reach. To protect all of that, we have 4 copies of Tamiyo's Safekeeping to give us a little bit of hexproof, a little bit indestructible, and we'll see how things go. Just a little forewarning, we're not going to do a post-game wrap on this particular video, at least I don't think we are. But one of the games we do play towards the end of this video, I realized later it was not played on the ladder. This deck, in terms of pulling wins out, was a little bit camera shy. Didn't like to give me the cards I needed when I was recording, but anytime I turned the recorder off, I walked right through opponents. You're gonna have to take my word on that one. But with that, really excited for some of this gameplay here and can't wait to see it in the footage. Alright, we have our next opponent, Whiskey Mana. A lot of red mana, but we do have the green to get us started, so we'll go ahead and keep. Opponent showing an initial plains. Clerics, that could be a problem. Lead with the green so we don't forget it. Voice of the Blessed. And this is where the opponent starts to scale out dramatically. Oh, apparently they don't have any lifelink yet. and that's all it takes. Just starting to scale out and the opponent doesn't want any more. We'll take those wins every day of the week. Alright, Maximum Honey Badger. He don't gaff. Alrighty. Let's take a mulligan. Don't know if that was the right call or not, but we'll go ahead and bottom one of the Helana and Elena's and hope to draw into the Bard class. Well, Tovalar's not a bad pickup, so if we don't get the Bard class on this next turn, then we'll at least have some power coming to the board. Opponent showing Boros colors. There's our friendly neighborhood Bard class. Alright, opponent is now showing Naya. Let's see if they block. They don't block that. Okay. Not Naya. Why did I say Naya? They're Jeskai. Oh, Reanimator. That is terrifying. Do they have the spell? Well, if they do, they're not letting it go. Let's see if they have the Exile. Valorous Stance. There goes our hasty creature. Alright. Safe for one more turn. Unless they have the land and... Oh, there's the land. Here comes Velomachus. Yikes. That's a big card. Do they buff the Kiki Jiki? Oh, that would be hilarious. They do buff the Kiki Jiki. What an interesting call. They're going to literally have the ability to go over the top of us all day long, and they buff Kiki Jiki. We're glad that they missed. That's a big deal for us. Alright, so Velomachus off the board. They have one swing to secure the victory here. Are they able to pull it off? Alright, here they come. Burn down the house, doesn't get it. Looks like they whiffed! Oh, you can't make it up, ladies and gentlemen. Do they let us stay on the night side? Oh, if they let us stay on the night side, that's a big deal. Alright, do they have another invoke? They probably do. Alright, they're gonna get their GG. Oh, and it doesn't let us concede in time. Alright, let's see if we can stop being wind smooth. I am on a 4 or 5 game slide at this point. You know, thank you, Wizards. Ooh, this is the hand to do it. Not. Mulligan, give me a land. That'll help. My goodness. Do you want me to find a win? I mean, I guess not, but you didn't have to be so mean about it. Opponent has everything they could possibly ever need and or want. Meanwhile, we keep getting hammered. And it looks like that's not about to change. Luminarch Aspirant? No. Okay, well, here comes the attack for one. Do we have an exile effect? Brutal Cathar, Skyclave Apparition, you are being summoned. Skyclave would be a blowout. Adeline, okay. Adeline we can deal with. Kadama is going to be our saving grace here. Okay, they are giving their team the ability to tap for mana. Do they swing? No thank you. I will keep that for now. Nice of you to offer, though. Do you really want to do that? I'm not going to say no. Please. Oh, you gorgeous, gorgeous person. You're so sweet. What do you have now? Adeline? Alana and Elena? Another Adeline. Okay. And a Brutal Cathar. Do you go after the Kadama? You go after the Bergie. Interesting call. So you can get your 2 damage in? Okay, if you say so. Outland Liberator, so I suspect our Bard class is going to go away. That's a big board. Do you swing with it, though? Okay, taking away the Bard class, I presume? Oh, that's a bad call. You tapped your Adeline. Alright, well hey, I'll take the misplays. I guess if you beg and cry hard enough, they'll give you a win finally. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back on the board. Alright, we have a new opponent. Theogenist. That is a definite no. Well, I guess we'll have to... I don't want to go down too few, so we'll drop one of the Targnars, I guess. Alright, opponent leading with blue. Well, that's not bad, getting a mirror box right away. Start taking some chunks out of their face. I don't know what they're doing here. This could be a vehicles deck. Yikes. That would be annoying. It's a channel ability. Black Staff of Waterdeep. Okay. So that's going to become a creature. Big ol' 4/4. Well, you're tapped out now, though, so that's good for us. Let's see if you want to attack in. I'll trade you. Let's see if you have a bounce. Oh, if I get tested here, I'm going to be so sad. Oh, they don't like it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we have foiled mono blue artifacts. And we are going to go ahead and see you in the post-game wrap. Alright, we're back. Wanted to do the outro after all. Thought about it and I realized I wanted to do the outro. Why? Because you wanted to see it. No, actually I realized you don't want to see the outro. You just want to see how the deck performed overall. You want to see the stat line, what I'm showing you versus what you didn't get to see. So, real quick, we're going to do a stat flash. 7-7 overall over the time I've played this deck with untapped.gg pulling data. I will say, this deck performs very well for whatever reason on my phone. Can I tell you why? I have no idea why. But it seems to really like to win when I'm playing on the phone, which means, you know, if I'm using the restroom, if it's early in the morning and I haven't gotten up the strength to get out of bed and I play a game or two, this deck does do really well. Those wins don't get recorded in the overall stat line. Unfortunately, all you see is what gets played on the computer here. It's a fun deck. I've made changes to it over the course of time. It has various levels of success in different arenas. Let's take a quick look if there's anything worth... 2-1 in the play queue. You know, it has its ups, it has its downs, it has its moments. Doesn't stop it from being a fun archetype. There's so many different legendary options to play that you can put all sorts of combinations together and have a good time. This is the series of combinations I like. I've had Goro Goro in the deck. That's a really fun card to use, but you know, again, it plays off the modified. It gets the ability to give haste to the whole board. You can get Spirit Dragon creature tokens. Great card for this particular setup, but whatever you decide to play with, have a good time. It's a good deck, and we will see you in the next video.